Look around. The clean lines, the soft colors, the serene light flooding a room free of clutter. Minimalism. This way of living has become an icon for a world tired of noise and too much stuff. But have you ever stopped to wonder, is minimalism truly minimalist? Behind those perfect images, many people spend huge amounts of money on the right minimalist objects. Linen chairs in neutral tones, oak tables labeled organic, Scandinavian lamps that cost far more than they seem. And as minimalism turns into a trend, it becomes an industry. Brands rush to sell the look of simplicity, turning what once meant less into a new kind of status symbol. So the question isn't just, does minimalism look beautiful? It's, does it really help us live better? Or just sell us another image to chase? Because in a world where everyone wants less, but spends more to have it, what's truly left behind? This is where we begin to explore why minimalism feels so tempting and what hidden traps it holds beneath its calm, elegant facade. The instinct to control and seek balance. At first glance, minimalism feels like a natural reaction, a way to reclaim your calm in a world drowning in stuff, ads, and endless options. We crave the quiet. We want to feel like we're in charge, that we can shut out the noise and keep only what truly matters. And so, minimalism speaks to something deep in us, the longing to feel free, to own less, to focus on what's real. Yet, even in this simplicity, the need to impress never really disappears. Minimalism, smooth, calm, elegant, becomes another brand, another badge to wear. Suddenly, it's not just about having less. It's about having less, but having it look exactly right. The linen shirt, the handcrafted coffee mug, the perfect minimalist lamp. They're all sold as the keys to a simpler life, but often they're just new ways to spend. And that's where the contradiction begins. Minimalism says, own less, but the industry says, buy this to show how little you own. So you end up spending more, not to fill your home, but to make your home match the picture of less someone else is selling you. The result? A growing sense of unease. You're chasing calm, but end up comparing your home, your style, your choices. Instead of peace, you're left with doubt. Why doesn't my minimalist space look like theirs? Am I doing it wrong? What began as a path to freedom can become just another trap. In the end, the real question is not, does minimalism look good, but is it truly freeing me, or just showing me a new way to feel like I'm not enough? Because in a world of perfect photos and curated calm, it's so easy to forget what you're really trying to find. The social consequences and inner conflicts. Minimalism started as a rebellion, a quiet protest against the noise of modern life. In a world that constantly shouts more, minimalism whispered back, less is enough. At first, it felt like a breath of fresh air, a chance to escape the endless cycle of buying and upgrading, to find peace in what truly matters. But as minimalism became a trend, it created a new paradox. A race for the perfectly simple. Images of serene spaces, empty rooms with neutral colors, and flawless, minimalist furniture flooded our screens, setting a new, quiet standard of perfection. And so began a different kind of competition. Who can own less? Who can be more perfectly minimal? The social impact is subtle but real. Minimalism, once about freedom, now divides people into those who get it and those who don't. Brands saw the opportunity. They turned minimalism into a high-priced lifestyle, where even the simplest objects come with luxury price tags. A chair that costs more because it's minimal. A cup, a lamp, a shirt. Each sold as an icon of calm, but driven by the same engine of profit as the clutter it claims to fight. Inside, this creates a quiet war within us. We tell ourselves minimalism will bring peace, but when it becomes a performance, something to prove or show, we're left with doubt and discontent. We empty our homes, but find our minds still crowded with comparison and pressure. We start to wonder, Am I truly choosing less, or just choosing a different way to keep up? That's the heart of the contradiction. Minimalism promises to help us breathe easier, but if we chase it as an image, it can steal that breath away. So we must ask ourselves, is our version of less really for us? Or is it just another standard we're bending ourselves to fit? Because only when we find our own meaning in simplicity can minimalism stop being a stage and start being a path back to who we really are. The role of awareness and the truth behind less is more. In the echo of less is more, many find a promise, a life with fewer burdens, fewer distractions, more freedom. But less is more only works when you truly know what you're letting go of and what you're keeping. Minimalism isn't about cutting everything away. It's about holding on to what matters most for you. The problem is, in a world that sells minimalism as an image, that truth often gets buried under a polished facade. Behind the calm photos of simple living lies an industry built on the same old idea: profit. The minimalist chair, the organic table, the perfect neutral-toned wardrobe. Each piece sold as the secret to a more peaceful life, but still driven by the same need to sell you something new. And so, many people find themselves spending more, not to clutter their homes, but to buy into an aesthetic. To buy a feeling of calm that can't be bought at all. The real cost isn't just money. It's the quiet exhaustion that comes from always feeling like you're falling short. You wonder, why doesn't my space look like theirs? Why doesn't my calm feel so effortless? In chasing the perfect less, we can lose sight of why we started at all. True minimalism doesn't begin with empty rooms or color palettes. It begins with an honest question. What do I need to feel truly at peace? Because in the end, the power of less isn't in things. It's in the clarity that comes when you stop performing and start listening to yourself. Minimalism, if it's real, isn't about making your life look perfect. It's about freeing yourself from anything that isn't you. When you understand that, you see that less is more only when less lets you breathe and make space for what matters most. Not the next trend, not the next purchase, but the quiet knowing of what is truly enough. Redefining minimalism, returning to yourself. When the spotlight fades, when the carefully curated calm is no longer on display, what remains? Minimalism isn't just a style. It's an invitation to peel back the layers of noise and ask what really matters to you. True minimalism isn't about expensive furniture or perfectly empty rooms. It's about the quiet courage to let go of what weighs you down and keep what brings you joy, even if no one else sees it. It's about finding comfort in small rituals. The first sip of morning tea, the quiet of an early sunrise, a simple moment of connection with someone you love. It's about saying, I don't need to keep up with the picture-perfect calm. I just need to find what makes my own life feel steady, grounded, and real. Because in a culture obsessed with the next big thing, minimalism asks a radical question. What if success isn't about how much you have, but how free you feel? It's not about turning your life into a showroom. It's about turning inward, to hear the quiet voice that says, this is enough for me. Minimalism isn't the end goal. It's the ongoing journey of asking what really brings you peace and having the courage to walk away from everything else. And maybe, in the end, that's the true gift of minimalism. The gentle reminder that even when you let go, you are still whole. That your worth has never been tied to what you own, but to the calm, honest space you keep within. Because when you can find that, the quiet center that no one else can see, you'll know that less was never about empty spaces. It was about making room for what matters most, the steady truth that you are already enough. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell so you never miss an episode, and so we can keep asking these questions together. Until next time, take care, and remember, you are already enough, no matter what the world says. See you soon.